Hey, David.
Hey,
Nice to meet you and
pleasure to be
welcome
here.
here in Romania.
Thank you.
First of all, can you say something about you and your job and what is your relation with the technology?
Sure. I am an independent analyst, speaker, writer, work in the technology area. I work with Microsoft quite a bit. They brought me here to Bucharest to do a keynote at their Microsoft Summit.
Okay, in this keynote, you mentioned very interesting things that I not necessarily agree with you, and maybe we can talk about it.
Okay.
First, you said that the main point of companies not getting to the cloud is trust.
The most common objection I hear, the initial objection I always hear, is trust. Yes.
And what about the infrastructure that they already have and they don't want to change it?
Yeah.
What about security with the latest incidents in USA and around the world?
These are separate questions.
Yeah,
So the
those
first
are
one,
true.
if I have existing hardware I'm not using, it's free to me, I'm not going to use the cloud. It makes no sense in most cases. There are cases where it might make sense, but generally no. I just don't hear that very often because most companies don't have large amounts of unused hardware, CPU and storage sitting around. I was in Greece last week, and due to the crisis and mergers and so on, they have this issue. But I rarely hear that. But you're right. If people do have lots of unused hardware, then going to the cloud can make limited sense in some cases. Back to security and trust, the PRISM, the Edward Snowden revelations, all these things. As a U.S. citizen, I was disappointed to read about those things. Disappointed. But I was not surprised. Were you surprised?
Nope.
Because the truth is that we all know, and I think we all have known, that if governments want our data, they're going to get it. They're going to get it. And so what I'm seeing thus far in my travels since these revelations is not much change. I don't see people backing away from Dropbox or moving away from cloud services because of this. I don't even see enterprises, by and large, stopping what they're doing because I don't think this changes all that much in the reality of our expectations. That's what I'm seeing anyway.
I liked your phrase that we trust our vendors for application that we have on premise on our laptops, desktop PCs, but we don't trust them on the cloud.
It's irrational.
What is your explanation for this one?
That we're used to it. In my talk, for example, I mentioned that I think Windows Update is the world's most dangerous technology because Microsoft puts in our operating systems whatever code they want every Patch Tuesday. And we just say, sure, go ahead. We trust them because we're used to it. That's how trust is built. It starts small, we get some benefit, we get no terrible downside, we move ahead, we do more trust. That trust was built with Windows Update over a long time now, many years. For the cloud, the level of trust asked for by the vendors is not even as large, I would say, as Windows Update. But it's new. And so we're still in the process of building that trust over time. We're earlier in the stage.
And what is the first step that somebody should do to break this wall?
Almost every business, in my experience, begins using a technology like Windows Azure in one of two scenarios. One of them is virtual machines for a dev test environment. Because it has immediate value, developers like it, it's flexible, it's cheap, it's available immediately, and you're commonly using test data in the cloud. So issues around security and regulation don't show up so much. That's one big opening scenario. The other one is some kind of storage. So for example, with Windows Azure, there's a technology called Store Simple that transparently puts data from your data center on Windows Azure, but it also encrypts the data and gives you the keys. So there's some more security there in people's minds. Those two scenarios, VMs for dev and test and storage, are the ones I see by far the most often as the initial entry points into using public cloud platforms like Windows Azure.
And after that, what is usually the next step?
After that, the next step I see for infrastructure is deploying a packaged application. And the most common choice I see is SharePoint. But put a SharePoint farm on VMs on a cloud platform.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.